Facebook?
Facebook.
You like the Facebook?
The books that has faces.
Okay.
No! I'm fine. I'm not reading a sad dog thing on Facebook. Okay, going to...
We're live. You can cry on screen. That'd be great for some ratings. Sage, could you please cry on stage, please? Thank you.
Ain't happening. I'm good.
Anytime now.
Nope.
Let me see those tears. I want to watch that mascara run.
Well, if it's waterproof.
Oh, Facebook. Oh.
Hey, Matt Stotts.
Hey,
On point as usual. Matty. Hey, Matty.
All right, Matt, can you hear our audio this time around? It's called Saltier Sage Bell. You think it's called Saltier, but when I run the ship, it's phoning it in. Sorry, we're having trouble playing back this video. Thanks, Facebook.
Yay!
All right. I will do a quick little thing. We'll do the social media blast, because I have no self-esteem.
Is that what social media is for?
100%.
Sounding crisp. Nice. So we're crispy.
Crisp like a baby's bottom when you smack it, because it's being a bad boy.
All on the floor, smack that.
Actually, do they still smack children's asses when they come out of when they get birthed to make sure they're alive?
I'm not sure.
I don't have kids.
Yes.
They still do that.
Only one person here can answer that.
Father Russ.
Yeah, they do.
Tight.
But you gotta say it like FADA, Father Russ.
Anyways, now that we're... Oh, I didn't even share it. I just looked at it and put it down. Anyways, welcome to the Phone It In podcast, where we haven't been allowed to leave our houses in 6 weeks? 8 weeks? At least
it's been like 2 months. It's been like
2 months
now, man.
2 months?
Since March.
We might get another stimulus check. Who knows? That might happen. Maybe the poor will get poorer. Anyways, we're brought to you in part by 212 South Lake Union, or Westlake Studios in South Lake Union, Seattle, Washington, a part of, also known as the Soundcasting Network, which you can see a lot of the stuff in Loud and Brown's background. We're also brought to you in part by Voodoo Ranger IPA. They give us alcohol, and we say thank you very much for your kind patronage. Hashtag live dangerously, right there, hashtag. They also make the Starship IPA. Sage, can you tell me how refreshing that drink is?
Oh, so refreshing. It's a 7.7% IPA.
Jesus.
Are
there any soft boy Voodoo Rangers?
There are.
I would like a light beer, please.
They have some 5.5s. Those are their fruitier beers.
Okay.
Goodness. Oh yeah, the
Fruitier.
juicies.
I'm looking
first.
something along the lines of a Rainier beer. Where I could just drink it like water and then have a wicked hangover the next day.
That would not be with this company.
Yeah, that's true.
Where's the Voodoo Seltzer? Huh?
Yeah, where's the getting moist seltzer? That's what I need.
Oh.
No.
Anyways,
All of this podcasting and all these tournaments, and that's how we're going to make money. We're going to get a Gettin' Moist beverage brand and become tycoons.
I can't wait. I literally can't wait. But anyways, thank you, Lauren of Voodoo Ranger, who generously gave us a supply drop 2 weeks ago in a time of a critical need. Thank you very much, Lauren. And also, please drink responsibly. Also, live dangerously. Anyways, we also are a part of the bonus round video game tournament that is also run by our boy Goon P&W, who can't be here this week, so he's probably still figuring out how he wants to do his online tournament. Thank you, Sammy, for saying we are his favorite vodcast. And Matt, thanks for telling people to stay at home and disinfect themselves with whatever they got. Do not drink bleach. Anyways, back to our plug of bonus round. It's our monthly fighting game tournament that happens at Trinity Nightclub in downtown Seattle near Pioneer Square. where we get rowdy, we drink a lot, and we scream.
We get moist.
We get moist, and we watch people compete and duke it out over generous cash prizes and potential. I think Tekken is part of like the rating tournament now, right? For
Not yet. What happened was that the
Gold.
most recent Guilty Gear that ended up not being able to happen, that was admitted into the Dynamite tournament series.
mhm.
I think that's what it's called. Correction if you can. Although Goon's probably playing Final Fantasy 14 and not listening right now. But
Complain about that damn net code.
yeah, complain about the netcode.
But anyways, that's pretty much our spiel. This is the Salt Tier Podcast, aka phoning it in because we're not allowed to leave. But anyways, let's bring it around to all of our lovely guests or hosts up top of the screen that I'm in. Let's start with the man with a lot of green behind his background.
What's up? You got the Saverings. ... How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a happy lockdown. Happy lockdown, everyone.
Don't know what day it is still.
Cheers.
Yeah, I don't even know. I know I work today, so it's a weekday. Not a whole lot going on.
You should know it's on Monday because we're streaming.
That's the only
that is
reference day.
cool. Yep, there it is. It's streaming day, whatever day that used to be back in the before times.
The before four times.
The before times, yeah. Hope everybody's doing well. We'll get back around to the playing, watching, because I have some things to say. But yeah, I'll kick it off to my neighbor. Howdy, neighbor. Howdy, Sage Bell.
Hello. I don't know which way I am on live stream, but you're this way for me.
Yep.
You're this way on live stream.
Oh, hey, there we go.
Anyways, you can find me at SageBell at Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and Facebook and Instagram. It's at SageBell_model. Yeah, I left the house today to get food.
Ooh.
I wore a mask. They were all wearing masks. They had just opened up there. It was it's a dim sum place near our house. Really good
Nice.
food. And they just reopened on the 5th of May, so I tipped them like $10. I was like, you probably need it.
Yeah, I got it.
And to the froiest one in the group.
Hi. This is Loud and Brown at Loud and Brown on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Gross Steph on PS4. Hi, everybody.
He's
Also-
nobody on Steam.
I'm nobody on Steam. Also, London got back to me. The name of the event for Arc Systems Revo is Daredevil, not Dynamite. It's a Daredevil entrant to the tournament series, which is like you can get points toward, the big like Arc Systems Cup, which is freaking dope. So that'll be happening with Goon and bonus round when this is all done. Thank you for that. And if you're not already done it, remember to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, so you can know when we're posting next. Because some people are like, when do you do your podcast? And we're like, every Monday at 8.
Duh.
I make sure
Yeah,
we're on time at 8.
You got it.
You know how fucking annoyed I get when we're 2 minutes late? I have an aneurysm.
You're yeah. I mean, you just keep things on schedule.
I run
Get
a
it
tight
done.
ship right here. This is how tight it is.
wanna-
Tighter than my
you wanna-
butthole.
You want a tight butthole,
Tight
not a
butthole.
loose butthole. You want a
No
tight
fingers getting up in there today.
Yep. Airtight.
Oh, jeez.
Nothing escapes.
How do you fart?
I
Nothing
barf out of my
escapes.
mouth.
That might
Uh-oh.
actually be a medical condition if nothing's getting out.
Yep.
Yeah.
You probably don't want that.
You need some roughage.
If it lasts
That's
more than
called-
2 days, go see a doctor.
Yeah, that's
Have
called
you tried
incontinence.
flax seeds?
What am I, a
Yeah,
damn
you have to
bird?
ground those.
Have
I
you,
had a
have you
damn
tried
bird.
Have you tried Docolax?
Oh, jeez.
That just opens it right up. Are you going to throw it to me or what?
Oh, and then we're gonna throw the person with the very fashionable T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. This is your boy Von Shady. Without me, we probably wouldn't be able to do this. Let's just put that out there. Impossible. Cannot do. You can find me.
Patting yourself on the back.
I mean, I will be writing a run book on making sure anyone else can run this at one point when I decide to do it. But anyways, you can find me on Von Shady on most things. And that's pretty much about it. I don't really talk about a lot of things if it's not pro wrestling related or if it doesn't involve a really obscure joke. But anyways,
Pro wrestling, baby.
When you write that documentation, can you send it in Lotus Notes? Because that's all I have.
you'll get it in a Discord thread, and you're gonna like it.
CompuServe?
Yeah,
I have CompuServe.
I'll make sure it's in WordPerfect just for you.
Yes.
Can I pick you up something at CompUSA?
I'm a Circuit City guy. We only deal with circuits.
Stop by Babbage's for me on the way too.
Oh my god.
Babbage's. That might have been around when I was still in Hawaii. We did not have a Babbage's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember Babbage's at all. But anyways, so did anyone play anything this week, or did everyone just become a hermit for this weekend?
Both.
Both. All right, Save
Yeah.
Reigns, what did you play this week?
This weekend, I'll start with what I did not play. I did not play much Borderlands 3 at all because I am at the end game, and you want to farm and get like all the best gear. Well, a lot of the gear, like your grenades and your shields and your class artifacts, the ones that like give you buffs to whatever your class or your play style within your class, they don't scale. So once you beat the game, right now level 57 is the level cap, and then you can put it into mayhem modes, which is adds higher difficulty things, harder to kill, blah blah blah. But you get better loot, and it goes all the way up to 10. So you can crank it all the way up to 10 and get to the point where you're killing stuff in 10, but it'll only drop like level 1 stuff. So you're just not leveling up at all. So I stopped doing that because I was farming, and I was like, what's the point of this? I'm never going to get actually any better past a certain point. So I'm waiting for them to fix that because it's a glaring issue and people are starting to like poke holes in them and tweet them. And so they're going to fix that. They're going to have to.
Sure.
But it's blatantly broken stuff though. Like before, the previous highest mayhem level was 4. So you could kind of get away with getting stuff that was only like level 1 or level 2 and then still try to go and farm at level 4 or whatever. But now they're doing stuff like adding in weapons that don't drop past a certain level, but then they don't drop at all past these. It's really strange. Like it's broken. So I'm just waiting for that. And also I did not play Stellaris because there's about to be a big update for that tomorrow. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait and see if. And one of them does fix something that I was running into directly. That was kind of a nuisance. So I'm gonna wait till they fix it, and then start from there. But what I have been playing, Stardew Valley, a lot of Stardew Valley.
Hey.
Yeah, I've been playing that co-op. Yeah, been playing that co-op. My fiance. It's a lot of fun, and played it a little bit last night solo. Now that I've played it more now, co-op than I've played it single player. Yeah, just trying stuff out. That's a really fun game, especially multiplayer. It's a solid game on its own, like a Borderlands, like a Division, or like something like this. But the second you start playing with other people, it's a totally different game. So, highly suggested co-op, especially in these times, and it's always cheap. And the gentleman who made it is from Auburn, and he lives in Green Lake. He's a native, and you can kind of tell as you're playing through the game a little bit. That's what I've been playing.
Okay.
Stardew Valley.
To comment on Borderlands 3, that is the same with me and a lot of other, a lot of post-game extras kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Once you beat, like, to throw it back to, I'll talk about this a little bit later too, but to throw it back to like Final Fantasy VII, after you beat Ruby Weapon and the only story you have left is to finish the game, it's such a strange feeling. You can grind. You can max out everything farther than you think you max it out. Like, you could get everybody to 99, but is everybody critting? Is doing a crit on every attack? No? Then you could power them up still. Did you farm 99 of every item in the game possible? Do you have all of your materia maxed out? There's these little steps you can take. Or in Final Fantasy 15, after I beat Adamantoise, there were some other, you could try to get faster times on fishing. You can finish your entire recipe book for cooking. There's stuff you can do, but it's not gonna really float your boat. And that's just 2 examples. There are tons of games that are like that. Where like, I did the big thing. Do I even want to bother anymore? Or am I just done with this game and just finish it,
There comes a point where 100% completion starts to be highly unattractive to me in games where like I get really invested in, and then like that's where I either rush to beat it or I just abandon it completely. It happened to a lot of games.
Yeah.
Especially when the 100% stuff is really cheap. You know, when you're at like 90 or 95 and most of the quests you've done were kind of cool, or they had something to do with character development or getting better at a mechanic that is actually part of the game. When like 100% completion comes out to like, I don't know, they can get really tedious and stuff that doesn't matter at all. Like, I don't need my original weapon I spawned with to be maxed out. I'm never going to use it. Maxing that out isn't that cool. Like, who cares? I have a maxed out weapon. That's what matters.
Like,
you know?
The weapon grind, like, collection's fun, like, in those RPG kind of games, and then, like, obviously open world games with collectibles, usually they have some incentive. If you collect a certain amount of things, you upgrade some weapons out of it. I will do those kind of grinds if it benefits me in gameplay, like, to do that. But just to do it is not, it's not anything worth my time.
Sure. Like, for example, would you even bother to unlock tofu in Resident Evil?
I mean, I did in the Resident Evil 2.
Oh, shit. That was hard.
Oh no, I mean like not the original or the remake. Like I did the tofu mission thing, but like you can't like I don't think you can play tofu in Resident Evil 2 remake, but like in terms of like the actual story campaign, they have like a spin-off quest just for tofu and that's it.
Oh, adorable.
Yeah.
No, I know someone that did the tofu Maniacs, by the way. Salt Tier Podcast. Your argument is invalid. If you don't know what we're talking about, in the Resident Evil universe, there was some post-game secrets where you can unlock the game to play as a block of tofu. But the tofu can't wield anything but a knife. And you have to beat the rest of the game. Huh?
You get to be murder tofu?
Yeah, but the thing that's kind of stupid about it is the only way you unlock murder tofu is you got to beat the game with a knife. So you kind of already did it. All you're basically winning is the skin.
Unless you're playing on the PC version, then you can put whoever the hell you want. You put Falcon. You can put Captain Falcon in that joint if you want to.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's being a dirty, filthy, goddamn cheater.
Yeah.
No, that's just mods, buddy.
Oh, mods. Anyways, it's like some impracticalities where the commendation of earning that title of saying, oh, I've unlocked tofu because I did this one thing that was tedious, when at the end of it, that character just does the exact same thing. There's stuff like that I don't really care.
And while you were speaking on that, I actually pulled this up because I do have an achievement on Steam where it is exactly like that. Only 2% of players of this game have ever gotten this achievement, and it is monotonous and it is tedious. And I did it just to be in that 2%. But basically, there's a section in the game. Is it Torchlight 1 or 2? It's Torchlight, the first one.
I remember we did a Torchlight fucking LAN back at Battle Station when Ahmed used to like play video games.
Yeah. So the very first Torchlight.
Continue.
Yeah. The horse is a horse in town, and if you talk to him 100 times, you get an achievement. And it was like one of the few that I had left that wasn't just like a natural, I'd get it anyway if I just grinded. But yeah, I specifically got it. It's in my achievement showcase on my Steam profile, and it's 2%. And that's why I did it, because only 2% of all players had bothered to do it.
I mean, that's a bit rough. Oh, hold on. Craig, no. Shit. Anyways. Oh, fuck.
Hello, Craig.
Uh-oh.
No, Craig.
Craig, come back. Oh, fuck. Hold on. I gotta invite him back.
London.
God damn it, London. You're fucking it all up.
Having this argument.
Now recording.
Thanks, Craig.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Craig.
All right.
Have to cut that. All right, Keith, cut that out. Thank you.
Thank you. To put a pin on that, I did something like that too. I was in the end game of Final Fantasy 15, and one of the less than 5% achievements was catching. It wasn't Adamantoise. It wasn't the hardest, most difficult monster. A lot of people actually wanted to do that. It was catching the hardest fish. Was one of the hardest things to do in that game, and I put it upon myself. I'm like,
oh, for sure.
It was very hard. It was harder than the monster.
Yeah, because I fancy myself quite the video game fisherman, and I'm still waiting. And you know what? And I'm sure at some point somebody's done it. But you know how they added like the first person like fishing part to 15? There was like a separate part for like VR. So somebody did mod that into the PC version because that's all I was waiting for. I was like, can I play the fishing mini game on Final Fantasy 15 in VR with my Rift controllers? And I think now you can. So I need to go back and drop the game off. Yeah.
So
But yeah, I've been quite the fisherman in Stardew Valley as well. I'm quite the angler.
I love fishing in Stardew Valley.
that's a great segue. Aside from Stardew Valley and fishing, what else have you been playing, Sagebell?
I haven't been playing Stardew Valley. It's just the thing I like to do. I stream, so we've started this thing. We're going to do this Thursday nights. Twitch.tv/Sagebell. I'm going to be duo streaming. I like to say dueling. With another Twitch streamer, Rogue Dragon TV. We will be playing Borderlands starting this week, Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Last week we did our last round of Dead by Daylight. So I played that. And then I decided that today I was going to play some comp matches in Overwatch for no good reason. So right now I'm 1-1, 1 win, 1 loss, but only as healers because everyone plays DPS and it takes forever.
Got it. And Overwatch is not stressful at all.
Hey.
That shit's easy.
It's not stressful. Everyone's stupid.
Yeah, that's the problem, AV. You're going to be good, but I think that game would make you pull your hair out because you play with idiots.
Yeah.
I was playing Paladins, and it doesn't, like... I was trying to do my placements in Paladins just to see, and I was like, hey, I really only play a healer, and then they, like, took the healer slot, and I was like, okay... And then I like just did Maeve, and so I was like a level 3 Maeve, and everyone else was like level 15 whatever character. And they're like bitching at me post game because I was the reason why they failed. I'm like, but nobody knows. They can't talk on mic, so it's all just side text, and I never read the side text, so I didn't really give a shit.
They'll never know you're a girl.
There was a gold person on our team, and they were the only nice person, and everyone else was just a bunch of bitches.
By the way, when you did the I visually thought of Chris Hemsworth in Ragnarok going, but was it? I don't know.
I was thinking about how he intentionally doesn't live in Hollywood.
Oh,
I mean
that's the way to do it. If he can afford to do it.
By an island. This is pre-whatever that
Pre-COVID.
name is. No, pre-abusive wife.
Oh, Johnny Depp.
Jonathan Depp.
Oh,
Johnny
I was
Depp.
like...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyways,
Yeah, he went and bought an island with that Pirates of the Caribbean money. He just got burnt out on Hollywood. He was like, I'm out. And they're like, what, are you moving to New York? He's like, nope, bought an island. And they're like, excuse me? Or
Islands are cheap.
Example, I'm from Hawaii, right? When, you remember the movie Dragon, a Bruce Lee story?
Yes.
So that's like a Hawaiian kid, right? He's not from Hong Kong. Jason Scott Lee is just like a dude from Hawaii. My mom's coworker is his uncle, so he used to come by the rental agency all the time. And he did 3 movies like back to back. He did Rapa Nui and Universal Soldier 2 immediately, pretty much right after Dragon, a Bruce Lee story. And he burnt out. He wasn't even in Hollywood 5 years, and he was like, can't do this. They're like, you moving back home? He's like, I'm not even moving back to Oahu. I'm moving to the Big Island, buying farmlands and growing bananas. And everybody was like, excuse me? And they checked up in on him. He grew all his facial hair out. He has like a banana farm. And he just cut off from everybody.
He's crazy for the banana.
Crazy for the bananas. But sometimes people need to get away. And, you know, Hemsworth gets away. Left 4 Dead Island something. I'm trying to seg it
They call it Dead Island.
Game.
I forgot Dead Island.
you
The
played
the
that?
most obvious game. Yes, I played it.
That's the multiplayer one, right?
Yeah. It's the guys, or the same studio that made the game, it's not Death by Daylight, it's Dying Light. There we go, Dying Light, which was like the urban version of Dead Island. So,
So I ended up getting Dead Island from a ex-friend in its beta stage, so now I own the game.
The game's broken as shit, but it's still comical. Still comical.
Wait, AV, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I mean, what we can get to me at the last part. What about you,
Yeah,
Mister?
Derek, what do you play?
I'll talk on everyone's game choices.
Oh, I'm just trying to, engage in what people have been playing. I started the Grandmocalypse on Cookie Clicker.
I thought you stopped that.
Back on Cookie. So he's got the addiction
no.
back. Took
I
off the
finally,
patch.
I closed it and I haven't looked at it in like over a day. But I started the Grandmocalypse just because of how insane the game gets. All the grandmas start turning into demons, and these like leeches like jump onto your cookies, and the game gets so dark. And they ask you to like ascend, and then all the news tickers are like, "We rise from the grandmas," and people are like, "Oh, the energy plants smell like fresh baked cookies and hairspray and stocking, they just smell like grandmas and cookies," and they're trying to build this whole world around you just clicking for cookies. Anyway, aside from that, I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay.
Nice.
All done.
Is this for the second or third time?
First time.
I thought you beat it already.
No.
Okay.
I beat it. It was cool. I have my gripes with it. Like, people playing this for the first time are not going to get the nuance and just the fun of the storytelling that we did playing the original. They spilt the beans real early on a lot of stuff that you learn later in the game. And I know that they had to do something about that because it was going to be in 2 installments, or is it 3?
They haven't even said yet.
Okay. It's going to be at least 2. But they spilt the beans on some, to reference the original PlayStation game, there's a lot of second disc stuff in that first disc content. The whole reason why everybody's hung up on Sephiroth is the same reason as, the Chainsaw Massacre or the original Jaws or the original Predator or any, classic movie with a mysterious antagonist. During the first disc, you don't see Sephiroth. You hear about him, people talk about him, and the first time you actually see evidence of him, spoilers, is when you get to the Shinra headquarters and there's a sword behind someone's back, and you're like, who the hell did that? And you're like, whoa, I think someone did a hit. And then you learn about him in the second disc, or at the end of the first disc. No, second disc.
What about spoiler alerts on that?
Spoiler alerts on what?
On Final Fantasy VII. You fucking nerd.
Spoilers. Well, let's see. The only spoiler I said so far was that you know about Sephiroth way early than... You know about him, not even 5 hours into the game.
I mean, if the game's over however many years old, is it really a spoiler?
Yes.
No.
That's true, but, the Resident Evil remakes didn't show you Nemesis in the first, 5 hours. You still got to, be surprised at the end of the game. You're like, hey, by the way, I know you've been fighting hunters and lickers this whole time, but check out this motherfucker. They still drop that on you.
I need to actually play that game.
You know what? And
remake.
they didn't talk about the Wesker heel turn. They didn't spill the beans early on those remakes. And I haven't played a lot of other video game remakes aside from that, but there's a way to have done this more eloquently. The mystery of the character is gone, And also the mystery of leveling up is gone. I already have Firaga, and if you played any Final Fantasy game...
That's like a fucking grind to get there.
Yeah, you don't get that the first third of the game.
What?
Where does my fire...
Oh,
where does my fire magic... Yeah. Where does my fire magic go from now? In the next game, I'm starting off with Blizzaga, Firaga, Thundaga, Kiraga, like most of the main magics are maxed out already. And all I could do is level up the characters. That's the only thing that's capped. I don't know. It's like...
Are you gonna play
know
that
they're
game
trying to-
on hard now and like rerun it?
That's the thing. That's why I wanted to seg this into what they were talking about with Borderlands 3. There's not really a desire to do it.
No,
You know, playing it on hard mode is just like, hey, everybody has higher HP and you can't use items. And I'm like, all right.
Sounds boring.
Like that's... Yeah, it's not more
Well-
fun. I mean, yes, I have my abilities, and it'd be kind of cool to like hash through everything, but also the way to skip through story isn't fast enough. Like, even because I'm replaying levels to get to grinding areas so I could beat one endgame boss. I want to beat Bahamut, and even like skipping through that, they still force you to like have these conversations with people. I'm like, I went through this. Just go to the battles. Go to the battles. I don't want to jump across lamp fixtures again. Like that wasn't the reason I love this game. You know, if they make you fight on a motorcycle, cool. If they make you chase race chocobos, cool. But no, like even running through the game, it's all the stuff you don't really give a crap about, and it's actually not that easy to skip. You know, Naruto Storm, those games were actually really easy to skip to the stuff you didn't want to play. They made it wicked fast and wicked easy. Even in this, if you do skip it, it loads. And you're sitting there looking at a blank screen, you're like... Anyway, I beat it. It was beautiful, really good music. I played the last 30 hours in Japanese language. The voice actors were very good at that. The voice acting on the English version is good too, but you know, watching enough anime and you know Japanese films, and you can tell that the gestures of the character models are putting emphasis on really weird syllables in English, and then when you switch to the Japanese, like it all hits the right beats. And you're like, okay, like you made this game obviously in Japanese, and then you changed the mouth.
It did a Google Translate.
Yeah. And then did a Google Translate. But yeah, other than that, yeah, and then I played some Call of Duty Warfare? No.
It's Warfare.
What's it called?
You didn't even know what it is.
Warzone.
Warzone.
There you go.
I played some Call of Duty Warzone.
Well, isn't it Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
And I played a little bit of that with our buddy that's been on the podcast only once, but it's our buddy Zach and some friends. And it's a fun game to play with friends. It really is. Like, you got your little squad of 4. You go into battle, you're just screaming, and everybody's getting moist. It's great. And that's all I played this week.
I should actually jump back on there at one point.
Yeah, let's kick it over to the I don't know. I was trying to think of something that started with a K or a C to alliterate with Cambodia, but I can't think of anything.
I mean, I also
What rhymes with Cambodian?
No, not rhymes. Alliteration, like starts off.
Yeah.
So we'll go with
Captain of Cambodia.
Oh, the Captain of Cambodia,
Duh!
the Dark Prince of Delridge, and the Lord of the Soft Boys. What have you played this week?
I've been getting my ass handed to on Last Oasis. It's now bringing back PTSD problems of getting ganked in WoW back in the day for me. Basically, that game is just like Rust or Ark or any of those sandbox survival games. So eventually you're going to get griefed and you're going to get taken advantage of, and then, you know, you're going to have a bad day. So I kind of got burned.
You make it sound like so much fun.
It's so great. You just build your shit and then someone robs you twice. So that's what you sign yourself up for. But ideally you want to go into that game with a group of friends or find a guild to link up to and then, like, you know, do your job as a PvE grinder. But I got burnt out on that and picked up Doom Eternal, which was 25% off over this weekend. And, you know, I didn't want to pay Doom full price, and even with that discount, I think it was still worth it. Because usually, I think I bought that game where it was like at like the Doom reboot was at least like $20, and I was like, that's a bit excessive. But for some reason, that game, I actually enjoy it. I think it's worth the money to even pay during that discount. I think it's back to full price now.
Yeah.
And that game specifically makes you want to explore that game because there's not only like cute little trinkets and stuff to it, but that's how you get cheats for the level. So
Sure. I
Like-
also heard that
Yeah.
I have a buddy that jumped out of not gaming for a long time and he picked up Doom because of the quarantine. And he says he loves it. He's an old Counter-Strike dude too, and he says he likes how fast it is.
it's very fast. In relation, like Call of Duty's fast, but it doesn't make you swing your mouse reticle like crazy unless you're playing on keyboard and mouse. Games like The Division, like run slow. It's a slow pace. Unreal Tournament, Quake, definitely fast games. For FPS people, I'll even give Overwatch a fast rating, even though
Really?
it doesn't really deserve it. Doesn't deserve it.
It's got a moderate pace. Okay, I would give Overwatch the same pace as Halo. Like it's like a
Halo's slow. It's very
yeah.
slow.
Then I would say that Overwatch is slow. It's got a. I mean, unless you're the legs, unless
Yeah.
you're soldier, everything else is like kind of slow. But I'm like I wouldn't call Halo slow. I would call GoldenEye slow.
Halo is slow in comparative
Yeah.
standards. Like-
Sure. Like Gears of War is slow
Yeah.
for me. Like
Gears
that
of-
feels slow. GoldenEye feels slow. Like there are slower shooters
Well,
that
GoldenEye.
make you think.
Well, GoldenEye came out in like the 90s on the N64. That thing's like
I know.
Where
between-
no
I
one
know.
understood the importance of analog sticks for shooters at that point in time.
But that said, yeah, I hear Doom's fast, and I hear. Is it true that Unreal is still the pinnacle of speed and FPS? I heard it's just like the fastest fucking game ever. Joe Rogan used to play the shit out of it. He bought like
Unreal, like he played Unreal
Yeah.
Tournament like back in the '90s because that's a fast game, and
and
we're
he
not
just got his
also
news radio money.
Yeah,
Huh?
we're not saying that it's coming down to like aiming. It's also about speed of movement. So
Yeah, it is
Like,
about movement.
that's
and
why- yeah.
map knowledge.
map knowledge, movement, and being able to do maneuvers or maneuvering in terms of like learning how to like air strafe or do any sort of like reactive agility move to miss a rocket launcher. So like Counter-Strike has that pace barely. Overwatch has that pace with some characters. That's why like it gets that rating. Unreal Tournament, Quake, where rocket jump is a thing and it like makes you like that game is notoriously running at a fast pace.
Yeah, like
Doom-
ever
yeah.
since those came out, those were like the 100 FPS games even back in like 2000.
Yeah,
So
people
those-
wanted
those
that
games
speed.
now.
Wanted
Like,
that speed.
Doom 2016, I play at 200 FPS. It just stays locked at that.
What the
What's
hell?
another one? Yeah.
Also, Stotts has a question. Can you play Doom in Doom Eternal?
No. I think that was a statement, not a question. Because there is I think
Oh,
an
you
add-on.
can?
Yeah, it's like an unlockable in Doom too. I haven't gotten that far in Doom Eternal yet, but like I heard, you can basically play like the original Doom in there because
Oh, nice.
the test for everything is can it run Doom? Like for any like sort of program computer hardware engineering, if it has a screen and has more than like 24 buttons, can it run Doom? That's been like a thing ever since Doom came out, and they released the Doom SDK essentially for free. So people have been porting Doom on everything, on your toaster, on your fucking Nokia watch, pretty much anything that has that ability to do it, they'll do it. I've seen it on a digital camera before. That was obnoxious. So Doom Eternal definitely was worth the money, even though like
Oh my
in
god!
mind,
Are you saying people are playing like Doom, like the original Doom, on like a Fitbit?
I mean, if it has a screen, it'd do it.
Yeah, the
Matt,
little
let's
fitness
this is a
bands.
raft game. Yeah, there's just things that people do to stress like how optimized a game is in terms of being able to port it either very simply or take a goddamn mountain to do. But Doom 2 or Doom Eternal, definitely worth the purchase. Even as a single player game, I want to kind of play the multiplayer aspect of it, which is like an asymmetrical multiplayer game.
Yeah,
I haven't had the need yet, but I'll probably get around to it eventually. And then I'm playing this throwback called Puzzle Quest 2
Ew.
because I fucking love match 3 games.
Wait, Puzzle Quest. The first one was on like the DS, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yep, that's the one I had.
But I'm on Puzzle Quest 2 because after playing really stressful games that drain a lot of emotion out of me, I'll play games that I can literally not have any like mental output for, and just do everything on autopilot.
Hence why I've been playing Stardew Valley. I just go in circles and I fish and I forge.
I think that's why I play Cookie Clicker. I needed something that turned my brain off.
Yeah, but you're doing something.
Yeah, Call of Duty. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say for like the mental, like just numb your brain games. I have 3 mobile games that I rotate through.
Oh, do tell.
Oh, well, I've talked about most of them already on here before, but it's Puzzles and Empires, Elvenar, and Love Nikki. So basically, I go through, I do everything that I can do in that moment, go to the next game, do everything I can do until I run out of stamina, and then do that. And then that's like 15 minutes of my brain.
Yeah. Just something
Nice.
to feel like you've accomplished something, but literally have little to no effort involved.
Yep. If I want to get sucked into a game, I have a different puzzle game. It's called Lily's Garden, and I just do the puzzles instead of the story mode.
There you go. That's all you need.
Because right now in the story mode, she's in an abusive relationship, and she hasn't kicked him to the curb yet. He's like very manipulative and calls her like Lily Bear. Oh, I lost my job, Lily Bear, and I know you broke up with me, but you're all I have, and I walked here without my shoes. I'm like, fuck, get rid of that.
What kind of fucking toxic game is this?
Jeez, I thought she would hook up with her neighbor sooner, but she hasn't hooked up with him at all.
Fucking Lily Bear.
God damn it, Lily Bear. You're better than that.
Damn it, Lily Bear. New salt tier hashtag. We're gonna put "Get Moist with Us" on hold.
You're
And
my
the new one
you're my Lily Bear.
Was that ever
You're
the
my
official one? I don't
Get
think I ever
Moist
signed
is
off.
official, come on.
I never signed off on that one.
What, on Getting Moist with Us?
I was not consulted
Oh,
on that.
speaking of which, get moist
God
with
damn it,
us.
Lily Bear. You're
Cheers,
better than
everybody
that.
listening.
Whoops. Fucking hit a button and repeated the stream. Anyways, getting
There
moist.
you go.
With that, let's take him to the break. Lon Brown, you know how to do this. Take him to the break.
Maniacs, you've been listening to Salt Tier Podcast. I believe this is phoning it in 10. 11! Phoning it in 11.
Yeah.
We are still brought to you virtually from a not real Studio 212 that is in South Lake Union that we haven't seen in 2 months. Part is in, Seattle, Washington still, United States of America, through the Soundcasting Network. Home to a lot of other great podcasts. Some of them are still doing content, not all. How to Be a Better Drinker has gone virtual, and they're doing posts. And I believe the Glow Up just uploaded one today. So they're on the mend. We're by far the most active one.
We're
in the
fucking
network.
trailblazing.
Trailblazing. So make sure you like, subscribe, share on whatever medium you want. We are on iTunes.
Support us.
Yeah, we're on iTunes and SoundCloud, which is the bulk of things, but most people have Spotify, and we're also on Google Play. I don't know anybody that uses Google Play. Google, come at us. Come at us.
I use Google Play a lot. I find it the best podcasting platform out of everything.
Yeah, and
my fiance uses it. That's where she streams from. Streams music.
And me in London got to spend an admin day to just upload these videos to the YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel, but there's only 20 episodes on there. So if you want to get vintage and give us some views, go ahead and do that. And Twitter and Instagram are salt_tier_pod, where I mostly take care of the Insta, and the Twitter is kind of cycled through most of the hosts here. And there's a lot of sharing. There's not a lot of new posts on Salt Tier on Twitter, but we get the information out there. We have fun. We stay connected. It'll also be the best way to contact us during cons, because Instagram and YouTube and like video, anything with visuals is going to be tough, but we have enough juice to put a tweet out during PAX or during EVO, or Jesus, they didn't cancel CEO yet, but I think they will.
That's gonna happen.
Well, where's CEO located and what time of year is it at?
Orlando, Florida. Probably
At
around.
the end of July. Oh,
Is
end
it?
of August?
I
It
thought it
might
was in
still
like
happen.
September, October.
Oh, you're
No,
right.
I thought it was a summer convention.
I think it is a summer
Is it? I
convention.
thought it was a fall convention because it's supposed to be after Evo.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure
Oh.
it's like fall. But anyways, yes.
We'll get
Speaking
London
of
on that.
gaming updates, so Clark County Fair is officially canceled in Washington, which runs like late July and August, which highly likely means PDX Land will be canceled for the July weekend.
Oh, what up,
Oh.
James? Oh,
They
AV.
might be doing, PDX Land might be doing an online LAN.
you mean
Alright.
you
Still
mean
get all the
net play?
sponsorship.
Breaking news, everybody. Sorry to interrupt this entire thing. London just sent me something. CEO, because of the COVID epidemic, has pushed back. They're doing CEO Orlando, Florida, December 11th. Holy shit!
Yeah.
It'll be raining.
There. That has to be the next Salt Tier outing. All of us in Florida during the winter when everything is like 30 degrees in Seattle, it's going to be like 60 in Florida.
And no
probably
one really
70.
wants to be out there.
No
Unless you're
one's
there for the
out there.
tournament.
It's going to be wrestling and video games.
It's everything
oh my
I
god!
want.
And Harry Potter World.
Harry Potter!
I don't know what to do with
think
that.
we're gonna be able to. I don't think anything's gonna happen for like a year.
Yeah, just
I-
everybody just throw in the towel on 2020. 2020 is canceled. Everybody
Yeah.
go
I
home.
didn't
I
turn
am
30.
I'm
2020
calling it right
canceled.
now. Oh yeah! Happy belated birthday to our Sage Bell.
That
Even
was
though it
last
didn't happen
week.
this year.
Bro, it was last week.
Yeah,
We
we
already
already did that.
We already had the stream.
But I'm calling it right now. Everybody's saying everything's canceled this year, but you don't understand the power of the NFL. And I think that'll be the first large group thing out there. They're probably going to have empty stadiums for preseason. And then opening day NFL is going to be 40,000 drunk idiots.
Nah.
And that's going to be when everything kicks back.
We're kicking it back. We're going to bring back COVID-19 at the end of 2020. Don't worry about it. We got it, guys.
Jesus.
We
I
got it,
mean,
guys.
we could have it for 2 more years. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be a recurring thing.
No!
We don't know. But anyways,
Unemployment's so weird.
so please check us out on all these different distributions. And thank you to Voodoo Ranger, who supply us on the alcohol. Sage is also enjoying a nice beverage called Starship IPA. It's made from real space dust. So tell Voodoo Ranger, great job on getting that space. Hashtag live rangerously.
They are most active on their Instagram.
Yep. And
They're not active
thank you,
at
Lauren.
all on Facebook.
Yeah, definitely hit them up on Instagram. They love that participation on there. But anyways, that is that. I wanted to bring up one topic today where we recycle news articles from bigger video game syndications. PC Gamer reported on 2 former developers who were pretty high up on the dev list branched off and decided to make a video game studio that was anti-crunch. And for those who know what crunch means in the industry, specifically for video games, you basically just work ungodly amounts of hours in the late stages of game development where you don't really see your family, you don't have a life, you don't do anything, you most likely sleep on your desk, and you have like a measly like OT rate to like compensate for that. That is crunch. A lot of people on the podcast were former video game testers. We see a lot of that abuse. But, you know, that's not to say some video games are absolved from it, but if you're in a AAA title production, you're crunching really fucking hard for months on end until the game releases. So that's usually leading up to
And they
like...
bring you in and they're like, hey, we're going to have pizza. And you're like,
Ooh.
oh boy,
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Free food. You might get some soda with that too.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, I've been a part of Crunches. Saber's been a part of Crunches. Loud Brown's been a part of Crunches. Sage, have you even been in the video game industry at that level?
No, outside of college, I have not.
Oh.
But I have wanted to do a game jam weekend. So I do get the emails about doing game jam, but I haven't done it yet.
I mean, that's fun. It's like the same equivalent of doing like a 48-hour film production. But anyways.
Yeah.
Those are great places to meet new people and find your local video game developers in the local area for you. But I
mean, crunch time's basically finals week.
Yeah,
Crunch
for
time is
months on
finals
end, forever.
I was part of Crunch. Do you remember when I was at Vivendi Universal in 2006? Right?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Vivendi.
So
How old are you? Jeez.
yeah. So the game that had crunch and stress testing was Fear Extraction.
I mean, Fear's a good game, though.
To the game Fear. And I did the multiplayer stress testing only for Crunch. When my game went in Crunch, it was a lot of hurry up and wait. Like I was in an RTS at the time.
That's just software in general.
Yeah, you gotta wait for it to bake, baby. Bake all the assets in. Make it playable.
Yeah, well, the problem was, on my game, our devs were in Sweden.
Oh, so you have to wait till they wake up?
Yeah, we would wait or till they responded, and the internet wasn't that quick, so they'd be like, we'd have to wait for minutes and minutes, maybe an hour to get the new build in. And with Fear, the devs, I believe, were domestic. So
yeah,
new
the devs are in Kirkland.
Oh, okay, yeah, stuff was coming out real quick.
Yeah, that was Monolith Productions over in Kirkland. I used to work for Warner Brothers, which was on the other side because Warner Brothers bought them. So all the Fears after the first one were Warner Brothers games.
That makes so much sense.
Yep. So yeah, I'm in the credits for Fear 2.
Hey!
Multiplayer. Yep.
I did a game test for Warner Brothers in the Monolith studio, so it made sense.
Ah.
Yep. So a game studio without crunch, though, that has so much to do with the culture, how stuff comes out.
So the people who spun off this company, they are, Drew McCoy, who left Respawn Entertainment, which made Titanfall 1 and 2, and then did that.
I mean, and before that, they were Infinity Ward. They literally did Call of Duty.
Call of Duty 4, the best Call of Duty ever did. Call of Duty.
They did all of them. They did all of them up till. What was the last one they did?
I think it was
Call of Duty 4. Modern Warfare 4.
No, it's Modern Warfare 2 because I thought they came back for after Black Ops.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember.
Because they did this thing where they had Infinity Ward do a game, and then Treyarch did the other game, and then they piggyback until
I thought Treyarch was Black Ops.
Treyarch is Black Ops.
And then so Modern Warfare 1, 2,
so
3, and 4.
So it'd be Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. That's when the number sequence started getting out of control. They did stop giving a shit. But Drew McCoy was a producer both on Titanfall 1 and 2, and then John Shirley, who is the lead engineer for Apex Legends, they branched out to make a game studio called Gravity Well Games. And their statement to this christening of the studio, they have explicitly state it's a sustainable game company that's looking out for the health of the employees rather than the health of driving a game that could be rushed and be unfinished at the cost of the employees. So
you know what, this is a very shrewd business move, because if you look at the last just maybe year and a half that we've been talking on this podcast, Blizzard losing a bunch of people, we haven't even gotten into Naughty Dog or anything like that. The team working on Last of Us 2, it's only 30% of the original people. They've lost 70% of the people that worked on the last of Us game. So you're going to attract a lot of those people that did get burnt out and then get discarded, and then have all the. What were the other studios? There was wasn't it Riot as well was doing the crunch time? Wasn't it also? There's been a couple.
It's
a couple
not a
dozen
couple.
Probably at this point.
It's any game that's considered a AAA title or has
I mean the ones that came out and they were the big stories that we talked about here on this show. There was a couple huge ones. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's smart on their part because they're going to attract some of the talent that left.
The biggest thing about this kind of proclamation is you have to assume they have a lot of capital that they can invest for people because, like, yeah, people get crunched for like 3 to 6 months, but everyone's usually on a contract and they get rid of them at the end of it if they're not core staff, and the core staff is paid a salary at that point. Is this business strategy and this proclamation about thinking of an anti-crunch studio, can that exist and commercially be successful?
Yes, because you could take a look at, I mean, and I know there's crunch because I know people that work in places like this, but things like Valve, places like will be another one. Okay, well, just the one off the top of my head would be someplace like Valve, or even Mojang, the people that make Minecraft. Like they're in no rush to update that stuff. They're relatively compared to like other companies that have to like crank out that new sequel, crank out this. You know, they're working on their game and just fine tuning it and updating it. Same thing with Valve. First of all, they don't even really make games anymore, so there's that taken off the shelf. And in Steam, the only time there's actually crunch is when we're going through what we're going through now, and there's 3 times as many people on it, and they have to like fix things and update things for all to account for the extra traffic. So there's a couple of examples of companies that don't have that.
Valve are the same.
Huh?
Steam and Valve are the same company.
Well, yeah. Well,
No, you made them separate.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, in some aspects, they like to keep separation, but like, you know, some companies have two revenue streams, and obviously one makes more money than the other.
Yeah, most definitely. So I guess subconsciously that's what I meant. But so there are some companies that can kind of avoid that. I'm playing Stardew Valley right now as we speak. This is one guy who made this. Took him 4 years. It sold over 10 million copies.
We got a buddy of ours, Dimple Calapina, on the chat right now, asking what game we're talking about. We're not talking about a game. We're talking about a studio.
Yeah.
And what is it called again?
It's called Gravity Well Games, which was one of the producers of Titanfall 1 and 2, and then the lead engineer of Apex Legends went to go make a new game studio that promotes anti-crunch culture, which for a brand new video game studio that we don't know how much capital there is, let's just say they're starting out and being like indie dev studios.
And I can't speak for the entire company, but I used to work for a well-known social media company that we would all know, and we may or may not potentially even be talking on right now. But there was very little to no crunch there either, because the stuff came out when it came out. So yeah, that was another environment, and I was working in gaming there, and that was another environment where there wasn't really crunch. So it's possible. It is possible, but yeah.
So Dimple has asked, what is anti-crunch? So we talked about crunch earlier, about like 15 minutes ago. Anti-crunch would be the studio engineers, the developers, the company itself will not force themselves to work 60, 70-hour weeks in the crunch period, which is basically maybe 6 to 3 months to getting the game out. So you have a 6-month window before the game gets launched, and then you just work 60, 70, 80-hour weeks up until the game launches, and then you're done. So that is, the anti-crunch culture that Gravity Well Games is going to try to infer. But what's going to be interesting is their first game, how long are they going to take their time on this anti-crunch culture, and then can they have enough money to survive as a company?
So as companies go, is there an example of games that are notorious for putting stuff out late but delivering solid games where they were like, hey, don't rush us.
Let's take a look at Nintendo in the 90s.
Hey,
you know how long we waited in between a proper Mario game, which is Super Mario World, to the very next flagship game, which was Mario 64. That was 5 years. You don't see a Mario game come out more than 5 months apart these days. What was another one? Oh, Diablo. The Nintendo 64, because we got teased with that in the arcade with Killer Instinct, and they teased the Ultra 64 at the time. That didn't come out till almost more than 2 years later, but it was worth it when it came out. So yeah, there's companies like that. Pretty much Nintendo in the 90s. Everything got delayed with them, but it turned out to be classic. So
So Dipple has asked, what are prime examples of crunch studios that love doing crunch? Pretty much any game that comes out of Activision or EA
All of them.
games.
Yeah.
About
Pretty
like
much all of them.
80%. Yeah.
A lot of American companies hash that shit out.
Wouldn't you
Yeah.
say anything that's like a pay-to-play game? Or was it free-to-play, but you play in-game?
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be. I wouldn't consider that crunch as
it would depend
much.
because I couldn't see a game like Clash of Clans running around on fire like internally because they're just chugging along, just making their money.
Exactly. What I'm thinking about is something that gives a deliverable. I'm thinking of something.
Oh, something like a God of War or like a Spider-Man.
Yeah,
or
like God of War.
The
You know,
Last of Us.
people had guns to their heads. Like people for Last of Us right now are sitting on landmines. Like, get this game out right now.
That's not
Everybody
the
will
problem
buy it.
right now.
If that game came out this
The
week,
game, that'd be an example of the one that got delayed because that was supposed to come out
Mark Anthem?
a while ago. So it's
yeah,
coming out
they want
pretty
to put out
soon.
something good.
Yeah,
But that's not their problem right now.
No, that's not the problem.
Yeah.
What's an example of something? Oh, what
Anthem.
about?
It's Anthem. Anthem was a game that
Anthem.
was a victim to crunch.
Okay, perfect example would be Anthem.
Fallout?
Okay, first person watching this, who's I don't know.
Dimple.
I
His
don't
name
have
is
the screen
Dimple.
up.
Dimple's
What's up,
up.
Dimple? Perfect example, Dimple. When we saw the trailer at E3 for Anthem, that was also the first time the devs saw the trailer. And yeah, this was the whole thing that Jason Schreier put up on Kotaku. They had no idea what game they were even working on, and that game that we saw was the game that they had to have out in 8 months. And they were like, "What game? Oh, this game looks good, but what's that?" They didn't even know that was their game. From what they had been working on that whole time to what they were showing, that they had no idea. So that's crunch. They had to make Titanfall. I'm doing air quotes in 8 months, and that's why Titanfall turned out to, not Titanfall, but Anthem.
Nice try.
That's why Anthem turned out to be Anthem.
Yeah.
So.
Isn't Titanfall kind of crap too?
Titanfall's all right.
No, Titanfall
okay.
games were
Is there a
surprisingly.
second one coming out?
Second one's already out.
Yeah.
What was that game
Okay.
we bag on all the time? It's Fallout 76, right?
Yeah, but I'm actually considering about going back to it and checking it out.
But the initial release, that was crunched out, right? That was like, get this out the door right
that
now.
game is still a hot mess. Do you realize people can still pick your pocket from across the stage? And the latest wrinkle is if you fight and you die against an NPC or against like a mob, a computer controlled or whatever, a creature, a raider, a bandit, they'll loot your corpse. They'll take your best weapon, and you can't get it back. Like you can kill them and it won't be on them.
Yeah.
Or you'll go back to get your stuff or go back to the area and they're shooting you with your weapon, and then you'll kill them to get it back and it just disappears.
Would you call Borderlands a crunch game? I feel like they put out games at a reasonable rate.
3.
Borderlands 3, most definitely.
Oh.
3 is, yeah.
It's
Right,
definitely a
like,
crunch game. One
There
and
was a
two,
reason
no.
why most of us waited till it was on Steam because
And
of
it's-
how much shit it was
There's
getting
still-
wrapped at.
There's
Oh,
still a
you know
bunch
what?
of shit going on with that
Yeah,
game.
in
It's
the-
still broken.
That issue.
In the FGC world, I have one good example.
What's up?
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was a
the last one, right?
crunch game. Oh my god.
They had to have it out in time for one of the movies, I think.
And you remember Chun-Li's poor face? Oh my god, they did her dirty.
Yep. In a nutshell,
Pretty-
Dimple, basically any game that gets a crazy amount of hype and they don't have the need to take their time and they think, we'll just hire more people in a short amount of time and then get it out. That's the games that will fall victim to horrible releases.
And then
Last
times
of Us
that
is refusing.
yes, and then times 50 to 100 if they're part of a publicly traded company where they can't have delays. So like they're saying an EA game, Borderlands part of 2K Games, Take-Two Publishing. If they have a big dog that's above them that owns them or is affiliated with them and they trade stock, yes, you're gonna see.
Ooh, No Man's Sky? Says
Yep.
Matt Stotts.
No Man's Sky got notoriously rushed out too.
Yes.
How would you say the
Yes.
Dragon Age games go? Or not Dragon Age. They don't pump out as fast as Assassin's Creed.
That
Yes.
has a horrible crunch period as well.
That was Ubisoft's entire last year. The Ghost Recon game, the Assassin's Creed game, all that stuff.
Can you imagine-
That's why they pretty much took a year off.
Can you imagine being on that team? Or the team that
No.
comes in my head the most is
I would kill
Call
myself.
of Duty. Like when I think about how many games they put out in the last 10 years, it sounds like a nightmare.
I think about how bored I get with your average Assassin's Creed game. Some of them are gems, and some of them you don't mind the repetitive play mechanics. But most of them, you pretty much get bored of. I couldn't imagine working on that same game over and over and over and over. And no disrespect to our friends up north, no disrespect to that fine city, but I couldn't live in Montreal, Canada either. That would drive me nuts. Because it's cold up there.
C'est non magnifique.
Yeah, I couldn't. I like Vancouver and Toronto. I like those cities a lot, but I couldn't live in either one of them. So.
You've been to Toronto?
Yep.
T.O. baby.
I mean, I was there, but I was a newborn, so it doesn't really matter.
I went when I was a kid, and I went when I wasn't a kid, like when I was 20-something.
So
now, as much as we like to talk about crunch, I gotta talk to Captain Cambodia and be like,
is it time?
It might be time to at least wrap up this conversation. We could do our closing statements about crunch and how we feel.
Copy paste.
Yep.
Yeah, how we feel about if this company can make it. You know, like if. Wow, I talked a lot in this.
Nah.
Yeah, no shit.
It's a podcast without Derek talking.
It's the Loud and Brown podcast with special guests.
So I'm going to do a really quick outro, and this is Loud and Brown, at Loud and Brown. That's Loud and Brown. And Gravity Well Studios, I hope the best for them because mental health of your staff matters a lot. It's the people that started with the game. They know the most about it. They care the most. Like, don't just have them burn out and replace them with just drones that just come in and pick up the slack. And that's how you get problems, you know? At the last studio I worked at, this wasn't for games. This is for design, though. They gave me, like, this empty tower that just had this terrible file management. And they're like, oh, the logos are in there. I'm like, in where? And I'm just trying to hunt for stuff, and nothing is labeled right. Everybody has their own workflow. Not everybody works the same. And just, like, stressing your staff like that is not good for the end result. Like, take care of your people to come out with a better product. But we'll see. Maybe we'll only make a game every 5 years and it's not cost worthy. And
I mean, you could make a game less than that as long as you weren't trying to get overly ambitious, like an Anthem, like a No Man's Sky, like a Fallout 76. Actually, Fallout 76 was just lazy rush job, but anyway. That's
true. And with that, I'm going to kick it to the Saverings, closing statements, and the future of crunch.
It will always be in some point. It might get a little bit better with this next generation because there's going to be some features built into next gen graphics cards and consoles, such as ray tracing, which will alleviate some of the burden when designers don't have to go through and manually light everything, and they can just flip a switch or check a box in their software and it just lights up the. If you shoot films or shoot TV shows, a good third of the time is them just lighting the damn thing. That's why you always see the actors sitting out in their trailers while they light everything. So there will be some things that can help them cut corners, but as a culture, it's always going to be a thing. There will be some outliers like the companies we spoke about earlier, but yeah, you might get lucky and you might hit a company that doesn't have any of that. You never know. So it's always going to be there. But as far as us here at Saltier Podcast, hit us up on the Steam. We're up to 37 members now.
Hey!
Yep. Hit us up in all the usual places that we'll plug here in a second. If you want to play some games, if you want to play some Borderlands, even though it's not really worth it once you get to the end game for now.
Yeah.
If you want to play some Stardew Valley, if you want to play some, Killing Floor, I don't care. Hit us up on our Steam group. Yeah, hit us up on the Steam group. And I will talk to you guys later. I'll kick it off to whoever's next in this Congo line.
Is
that Sage Bell?
Princess.
Oh God! Please never call me a princess. Ew.
Oh, Princess Sagey Bell.
Sagey Beigey.
Oh, my Sagey Bear, you're my princess.
Go full weeb. Hime-sama. Hime-sama.
Hime-sama. Anyways, Sage, see you. I couldn't resist when you pulled that out.
Well, I was trying to take interest in it earlier today. That's why I got makeup on. Closing statement. If you're feeling creative, Let your creativity flow. Don't let other people bring it down. I'm going to be entering a video, music video competition. So it's like a lip sync or you actually karaoke it. So I'm entering one of those, and I have a full entire week to film it and edit it. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
See everybody on Thursday on my stream at twitch.tv/sagebell, where I will be streaming from the beginning Borderlands 3. So I'll just be starting a new
Start all
character.
over again.
Yeah. Well, I'm only level 5 anyway, so I haven't even played it yet.
Start it again.
Starting over.
All right.
And to the man who has a bear as his friend for recording.
It's my Lily Bear. Get that right.
His
My
Lily
Lily Bear. This is your boy Von Shady. Sage, do you think this anti-crunch studio can exist in today's standard of video game industries?
Anti-crunch video?
Anti-crunch studio. Like a company.
Studio.
A company that
Yes.
will not slave drive their employees. Can it be
Yes,
successful,
totally.
viable?
Yes.
Okay.
If you have the right audience and you know how to market yourself, you don't have to crunch because you have the right gamers who care and will still spend the money.
Exactly.
Like, I would rather the game come out good on the first try.
Perfect example,
I mean,
Cyberpunk.
we all do.
Cyberpunk got pushed back, and nobody really complained. Everybody's like, take your time. Take your time.
awesome.
Smooth it out. Yep.
Okay.
I would not listen to the negative douchebags out there.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You're going to listen to me now.
Damn it! You set me up.
Anyways.
In Cambodia.
That's right. Captain Cambodia to you.
Captain Cambodia.
Anyways, this is your boy Von Shady. You can find me on most things Von Shady. Pretty much as long as you understand how to spell that, you're fine.
Or underscore Von Shady for Twitter.
I think it's Von Shady underscore.
Von
You'll
Shady
find it. You'll
underscore.
find my face on it. Like, it's pretty obvious who I am. I don't.
That's not your belly button?
You'll see my belly button. I love fingering that thing. Anyways, with the last word on video game crunch culture, also Dimple, that Sage Bell on Twitch.tv if you would like to follow and account their journey through Borderlands 3. So that will be something that they'll do Thursday.
I do link our Discord in my chat and on my page on my Twitch.
Yep.
So that you can join our Discord.
Yeah, so, there's Discord stuff we do here. We'll plug that. I think we should probably pin that on Facebook, to be honest. But the actual thing I want to get to is an anti-crunch studio is an idealistic dream. But if they do not have money to survive the extension of not being able to crunch that time period and get a game out faster to meet, deadlines, ultimately it's doomed. Because, you will bleed out. As a financial aspect of things, you need to have enough money to sustain your employees for however long you're going to employ them for. And if you constantly delay and delay and delay, you run the risk of bleeding out and ultimately maybe not even releasing the game. I'm not
Have
saying
a beta sale.
you could do that. There's ways to infuse stuff, but would you do a beta sale on a single player game that's only single player? That model only really works for games that have multiplayer aspects to it.
Fair.
Last Oasis. I paid
And
money
to
for an
interrupt-
alpha. Yes.
To interrupt, our homie Dimple is asking for Twitch tags so he
I'll
can
drop
follow.
that. I'll drop that for him. But anyways, what
Look at you.
I'm going to say I wish Gravity Well Games the best luck in this climate of video game industry where the market really expressly states you gotta crunch, especially if a game is hyped up so much, you gotta crunch to meet your deadlines. Because last thing you want to do is have a game just become vaporware. I'm talking about
You
you,
know
Duke
what?
Nukem.
I thought you were talking about Star Citizen. They're also an example of taking your sweet time.
Yep. Or Final Fantasy VII Remake. Always all this talk, and then eventually came out. Sometimes, if you have enough money to get to that far enough point, you can make it to do whatever you want. So it's not impossible, but it's going to be very difficult for a brand new game company that has, some level of credibility, not like Hideo Kojima credibility, So that's what I'll leave the viewers with and the listeners with. This is the Salt Tier Podcast, aka Phoning It In. We're gonna do our little sign off of saying, thank you to our sponsor, New Belgium Brewery, who give us all these nice craft IPAs from the Pacific Northwest region. Sage, tell me, tell me about Starship IPA. Does it taste like a galaxy?
Yes.
Excellent. Oh, that's cool. You
Tastes
can
like
you can put your head right there. Tight.
I'm censored.
Super tight.
Very uncensored. Thank you, Voodoo Ranger, for supplying us on the beer sponsor by giving us free beer, and thank you, Lauren, who actually is the person and face we communicate with. Very, very friendly, very sweet social media manager of Voodoo Ranger and marketer. Hashtag live dangerously.
Hashtag live dangerously.
Yeah. Damn, I'm out of booze. Anyways, we're also brought to
perfect timing.
I know, right? We're brought to you in part by the Soundcast Network, who are run by two fabulous producers, Bobby Stills and Keith Boogie. They, brought the show together out of weird necessity to help out with the diversity of the Soundcast Network and their various podcasts, like How to Be a Better Drinker, which, I could probably use that, to be honest. Or
it's great.
What else?
The Glow Up.
The Glow Up.
Was it Long Stick Mister?
Yep. And then was it the Electric Zoo House or something?
Oh, the Evil Petting Zoo.
Evil Petting Zoo. There we go. Something with
and
a zoo.
The Reese Show. Our homies that post. They record the same day as us.
Yep.
The Reese Show.
Ooh. We'd like to thank our producers and our network that does this, and then we also would like to not only thank but inform people about Bonus Round, which is run by one of our other podcast hosts, Goon PNW, who hold a monthly fighting game tournament. Doesn't matter what fighting game, usually it's just a popular fighting game in the scene of, FGC community, or fighting game community is what the abbreviations are. And then the lovely space that hosts us is Trinity Nightclub, which is a nice little nighttime dance club disco in Pioneer Square in Seattle, Washington.
Because that's exactly how people describe Trinity as nice.
Yeah, nice. They give us a roof to put the tournament in every month, but until COVID-19 blows over, we're gonna be stuck doing this, and we're gonna have to find alternative means. But that does not mean to say that we show them any less love than what they've given us. So
true.
Anyways,
you're a good captain.
You damn right. Some would say a loving dictator.
A loving dictator.
Anyways, and with those very highbrows from the peanut gallery, I'm going to cut this podcast off and say we're gonna hang up the phone now.
Hanging up.
Is that our new outro?
You're damn right.
Hanging up the phone.
We're hanging up the phone.
Jeez, look how much space I have to raise my eyebrows up so you can see my eyeballs.
Anyways, we're gonna
evil brows.
We're gonna end